Around the world, there's one language that unites us all.
Whether you're in Rome or Rio de Janeiro.
We all speak the language of football. She's Layla Anna Lee.
I cannot sing. I knew you'd do this to me. He's Johnny Nelson.
It's been completely mad.
And we're on a mission to find out what makes some of the greatest footballers in the world just so good.
Football is my life. It's in my blood.
This was the opportunity I really wanted for a long, long time.
We'll be up close and personal with some of the game's biggest stars.
It's impossible to beat 11 players just by yourself.
To find out exactly what they get up to when they're not on the pitch.
But I'm quite impulsive.
And we'll visit some of the greatest cities in the world to find the best football stories.
This is a special place.
Seeing how the beautiful game is changing the world for the better.
I want to inspire the kids.
This is The Football Show. For a professional player, winning games on the pitch is the primary objective. But for some, helping people off it, well, that's just as important. Goalkeeper Asmir Begovic has played for his national team, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and won the Premier League with Chelsea. But he's had to overcome more than his fair share of hardships to make it to the top.
Our first move as a family was at the age of 4. We left Bosnia because of the war. We moved to Germany. I can only imagine how difficult it was for my parents, now being a parent myself. My dad, I never got to see his proper professional career much because he used to play in the former Yugoslavia. As we went to Germany, he still carried on playing a little bit of semi-pro. And I was with him all the time. I was on the team bus, and they're like, what is this kid doing here? But the second move at the age of 10, that was difficult because I was playing football, I was loving it. I had an offer from a professional team in Germany to join them in their academy, and had lots of friends. My parents were settled in their jobs, everything was okay. And all of a sudden, basically told to pack up and leave, couldn't renew our papers in Germany. And, it was a choice of Canada, America, or Australia, and Canada presented the best opportunity. We've taken as a refugee, we're very thankful for that. And you start and build up a life once again. I was very lucky. I got taken in by some really good local teams, some good coaching, and good coaches. My dad used to be a professional goalkeeper, so he continuously coached me, and that was important. But back then in Canada, the opportunities weren't there to become a professional. So when I used to say, I'm going to become a professional goalkeeper, they were looking at me like I was crazy, because the only way you could do that was to go to Europe, and it's a long way. Thankfully, as I was getting a little bit older, I was getting opportunities with the regional teams and national teams, and I was picked up by a couple of scouts, and they gave me the opportunity to come to England and go to a trial at Portsmouth. This was the chance that I was waiting for, the opportunity that I really wanted for a long, long time. Within a couple of days, everything went so well that they offered me a contract, and the rest is history, as they say. You can't do it yourself. As much as driven as I was and what I wanted to do, and I dreamt big, and things worked out really well for me.
Though he may have learnt his football in Canada, Asmir has always had a deep connection to his country of birth.
Throughout the years of moving and being in different countries, we were always very Bosnian at home. We spoke Bosnian, but when the chance to play for Bosnia came and I got called up, it's worked out incredibly well, going to a World Cup, embracing the culture, embracing the country, and that's the beauty of our national team. We come back for one reason only, that's to represent Bosnia, and it's a really cool team spirit and atmosphere to be around, for sure. Today I'm doing a coaching session. A fellow professional, Julian Speroni, and myself. It happens a couple times a year, so yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's nice to give your time back, give these kids a little bit of guidance. Goalkeeping is a crazy occupation, so when we can do some stuff with kids, show them a few tricks, share a bit of wisdom with them, then it's obviously very worthwhile.
Whilst teamwork on the pitch is essential, Asmir also has the perfect partnership at home. He met his wife, Nicole, in 2011, and the competitive duo give each other a run for their money.
She's a professional dressage rider. We work well as a team. We maybe push each other, be the best we can, and I will go watch her train and ride and compete and whatever I can. She's the same for me. So I think because we can relate to each other, we know what kind of sacrifice, the amount of work it does take to be good at your sport and your profession. So I think that's actually worked out pretty well for us.
Asmir's wife, Nicole, introduced him to his next project, his podcast, Season of Sports.
I'm a huge sports nut. Watch every sport, anything that's on TV I'm into. And I used to talk to my wife about it a lot, and she's like, listen, I don't know what you're talking about, so maybe you should go talk to someone who really knows. I'm like, well, what do you think? Like, what should I do? She's like, why don't you do a podcast or a sports show?
So Asmir, whenever you're ready, you can go.
So with the NFL season hotting up and the playoffs right around the corner, we thought it would be a great time to talk some NFL. In our podcast, we talk about different areas of sport maybe that don't get the attention that deserve. Women's sport, we did a fantasy sports special. Talk baseball, ice hockey, basketball, American football, tennis. We try and give as many sports the attention that we can. People that don't know me, they get surprised at my knowledge of sport. But it's great. I think sometimes the biggest compliment I get from certain guests, when I talk to an ESPN analyst who's been doing it for many years, and he said, oh, he's very impressed by my knowledge and how current I am, then obviously that's a huge compliment, and I enjoy that. But for me, it's not a chore. I just love everything about sports, and it's a lot of fun doing it.
Great, that's perfect. Thank you, Asmir.